Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brady Young. Alright, so before we start off on this episode of Book Talk, because it's Thursday, so you know what that means. Like every Tuesday and Thursday, I've said it so long, that voice crack though. So before we get right into it, this episode might be a little more confusing just because of episode 10. I left off with the bare minimum on that video, but that's what I'm going to be doing with some of these videos now, is I'm just going to do very bare minimum of highlights just because I can. So now that that is out of the way, let's jump in to chapter 11. Game, set, and match. So, this chapter starts from chapter 10 after yet another battle at the mall. These kids apparently like having fights in the mall. Some stuff happened. Just like I said before in the previous episode, some certain powers were used. So certain things did happen, certain things didn't happen. But I'm not going to say what happened and what didn't happen now. You're going to have to find that out for yourself. But the results of the battle leave one of the characters completely angry. Mason, of course, isn't too happy just because of certain things that happened, because of a certain person that got away. And again, I'm not going to say who, just because. If you want to know why Mason's unhappy, it's early in the morning, so I'm trying to... Moving on, though. One of the things that did happen in chapter 10 is they found out the name of the group that is hunting the parents. Not only did they find out the name of the group, they also found out the name of one of the people in the group. So from there, they now have a lead. They have stuff that they can work with because this group has mainly been in the shadows and they had nothing on them. There's actually quite a lot that happens in this chapter, but like I said, I'm doing bare minimum of stuff just because if I decide to go into it, because I'm skimming over quite a bit of stuff that actually does happen in this chapter that you see, it kind of gives you more of the relationships between certain characters. But if I went into it, I'd have to explain a lot more stuff, which, I'm not spoiling anything. So if you want to know more about certain characters, if you want to know about the relationships that happen between certain characters, and I mean like as in friendships and stuff, you're going to have to buy the book. Remember, links are in the description to purchase it. But because of another thing that happened in chapter 10, Alyssa and Kane kind of have a falling out. Some things are happening. Kane's kind of avoiding her. She's not too happy with him. It's a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. So, but I will say this, it is because of the power I said in episode 10. Time reversal. This power is both a pro and a con for a lot of situations. Isn't it funny how time works? But moving on to later in the chapter, they're all in the middle of a class, and as they're just working on stuff, the TV just turns right on. They can't turn it off. Chaos then appears on the television screen and decides to make an announcement addressing the whole entire world, threatening to do an attack at the end of October. And Kane's not too happy about that. Just because of everything that's happening and that has been happening, Kane gets a little frustrated. He goes back to the base, lets out a little anger. Some stuff happens with that. And then, one of his uncles shows up and gives him some words of encouragement and just tells him to keep on going, but to also be careful. And again, moving on to later in the chapter, they're at a volleyball game at their high school. They're just watching the girls play. The guys are just there to cheer them on. Some of them are just cheering on their girlfriends. Some of them are cheering on the girls they want to date. Some of them are just there just to be there on a school night just because they want to avoid schoolwork. So, that's what I did in high school. But while they're there, we learn the importance of one of the objects that Kane owns and why he should always have it on him. Because some crap happens between the team, between the guys. And then also a demon attacks in the middle of the volleyball game. It's a very interesting ending to the chapter. But I hope you all enjoyed this brief, vague highlights of chapter 11, game, set, and match from my book, Darkest Light, It Begins. And like I said, you can purchase the book on Amazon. The links will be in the description below. You can get it for either paperback or ebook. And then you can get everything that I'm not saying. You can read it all. Just like in the description below will be the links to my social media, which is Snapchat, Twitter, my Facebook page for my books, and my Instagram page. So go and follow me on all those. And if you enjoyed this brief video on Chapter 11, hit that like button, subscribe to stay tuned for more, and turn on that little bell notification so you get notified whenever I put out a video. But as always, I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching.